Welcome back to the channel. I want to go ahead and thank our new Patreons right off the bat. Thank you guys for supporting the channel and supporting what we do. Link is in the description if you'd like to become a Patreon. We had a pretty good week last week. We were able to knock out a Chevy Malibu, got a transmission swap done. We were able to tear the 6.7 Cummins head down, get it off, get it sent to the machine shop, and we were also able to tear a 6.5 down, but he has decided he's going to go a different route for the truck, so we've already got that thing out of here and ended up basically just tearing it down, but don't really know what he's going to do with it. So for now, I do have some new parts laid out here. We have the 6.7 pulled back in the garage, the dually. This is 2007. This guy found us on YouTube, brought it all the way from Illinois actually, and we have some new parts laid out that he supplied already. Here we have some new Victor Reigns head bolts. This is not a crazy build, guys, it's stock. So he's just gonna go with some new head bolts, nothing wrong with that. We've got a new oil filter here, new thermostat, oil drain plug gasket, new fuel filter, new head gasket obviously, and the rest of the stuff is down here. Other gaskets, we won't need a lot of those. And then we have a new fan clutch. He wants to replace the fan clutch. He's thinking that's the reason why the head gasket went. Maybe the truck was running a little warm since he's got it, and he thinks that might have contributed to the head gasket. So we're gonna go ahead and replace the fan clutch now, guys. And I want to show you guys what we got going on the truck itself. So guys, we've got some prep work done. We have the head basically ready to be set back down. We'll wipe it down one more time with some clean brake clean. And yeah, so to basically prep these head guys, what we do, this is an MLS style gasket. The head gaskets on these trucks are all metal, so they're a lot easier to clean. There's not hardly any material that ever sticks to the deck. On the older trucks up to 2002, they are a composite style gasket, so all of that, the gasket will basically like rip apart, and a lot of it will stick to the surface of the head. That is also why you are a lot of times able to get by with retorquing these heads. If you have head gasket issues, a lot of times you can actually retorque the head, and sometimes they'll actually go away because it's metal. You're just crushing down the metal more. On the composite style guys, obviously they will blow apart, and you're not really gonna be able to save much by retorquing those. But like a good like 200,000 mile Cummins, if it's not blown, you can go through, torque the head gasket, and a lot of times get some more life out of it. And the reason why, at least my theory is because it's metal. So anyways guys, we got that all prepped. To prep the head gaskets, I want to show you guys what we use over here. Guys, you guys can, this is up for debate definitely. Everyone does this a little differently, but this is just the way that I do it. So to start with, I use a little soft plastic roll-off disc. I get any of the big chunks of head gasket material off of the deck surface. If it's a lot dirtier, you can use one of these, but you just want to be careful that you're always moving it. You don't keep it in one spot because you don't want to make a low spot on the deck. And then a lot of times after I do that, I will brake clean all that stuff off, shop back a lot of it out, and then I'll take this grinding stone I have. This thing is probably 4 inches wide, and you can spray like some PB Blaster on it to get it good and wet, and then you'll basically just want to move it in a circular motion all over the deck. This will keep it flat. There's not going to be a warp in the deck from this side to this side, so once it follows that, you're going to be good and true. We'll put a good, decent amount of pressure on that guy, roll it around, and keep it circular motion. And then a lot of times I'll finish off with just some Scotch-Brite. This is a good dirty piece here, obviously, but we'll just finish off with some Scotch-Brite, and that is how I prep these head gaskets. Prep these decks, I'm sorry. And once I get to that point, I'll take a shop back and a blowgun. I'll blow out all of the head bolt holes, and then suck all of the oil up. I'll suck all of the debris that falls down into the cylinders out, and get these guys good and clean. You guys can see that is a good prepped deck surface ready for a head. Just wipe it down one more time and she'll be good to go. I'm gonna change the fan clutch on this truck, so basically we'll have to knock this guy loose. It spins counterclockwise to take it loose, so we will start doing that. You have to hold this in place, hold this pulley in place. A lot easier to do with the belt on, but belt's obviously already off. And then yeah, so knock that loose, we'll get all that out of there. There's a metal brace right here, kind of bolts down there and holds all this in place, so we'll want to be sure to get that done too. And then we'll bolt the fan to the new fan clutch and reinstall this puppy. All right guys, after quite the battle, we got the fan clutch removed. Basically I have a little tool. That was quite a struggle, but we got the fan clutch off. I have a little air hammer tool and a tool that I rent from O'Reilly's. We do have another one but it is currently MIA. It actually has like an attachment on it where you can use the air hammer, where you can use a really long like extension on an air hammer, and it works really good for these. I have no doubt that I would have been able to get it with that, but we can't find it right now, and it's MIA. So I had to drive all the way to O'Reilly's, rent theirs, and theirs sucks, to be honest with you guys. And normally you have the belt on whenever you pull these off, so you can use the belt to hold this pulley right here, because the problem is this is going to want to spin with the clutch. So I was sitting there trying to hold this, couldn't get it out, so finally ended up just deciding, well, it'll make it easier to put the head on if I pull the whole assembly off anyways, because normally you can just leave this on the truck, but then you have that little lip that sticks up like 5 inches right here, and you have to like fish the head over it. But now I don't have to worry about that, so it'll be easier to put the head on like this. And once the head is on, then we'll put the fan clutch stuff back in. Once all that is done, I will even go as far as getting the valve train set up, so that way I can easily turn the engine over. So this will make it a little bit easier to do the job, so I'm not complaining, but it did take some more time. So now that we're here, you guys can see basically this thing comes off just like a regular bolt, righty tighty, lefty loosey. Get that off there. I had to put it in the vise with an air hammer and the O'Reilly's tool and got it out. Here's the old one right here. So we'll lay this fan over here, or this clutch here, take these bolts out, and then this fan will just transfer over to here, bolt it onto this guy, and that is pretty much it. Like I said, still waiting on the cylinder head from Nye's Automotive. It's kind of hard for me because I'm not a huge shop to get like fast turnaround on cylinder heads, but it's just kind of the way that it is. I may have found a closer machine shop I used to go to whenever I was working for a local farmer back in the day, but I didn't really like the way he was doing the heads because he was using a belt sander. But I just found out that he got a mill, and he's doing them in a mill now. So for non-performance stuff, I think instead of going to Nye's, I'm going to go over there to, he's using a mill now. So we'll start using him for cylinder heads on these, so that way I can get them faster. He said 48 hours. This truck, I'm like 8 business days in to getting this head done, and it's a little frustrating, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I get it, I'm a small fish, so it's not easy for me to get right in line and get it done. I have to wait just like everyone else, which is fair, I get that, but I can't have trucks down this long whenever I need. So the only other alternative I could think would be to buy a bunch of core heads and constantly have them sitting on the shelf. But by the time I pay all that, I'm looking at like $5,000 probably in inventory to get a set of heads for like a Duramax, 5.9, 12 valve, VP, common rails, both of those. I just can't justify it, and I just don't want to have those heads sitting. But I could buy, that was another thought I had, was buy a bunch of cores and have them all sitting on the shelf, and then people pull in, I can boom, pull it in, swap it out, done, take their core, and then, but then I have to run into the chance of their core being bad, and then I'm out of core. So yeah, that was a lot of rambling, but I'm just telling you guys where I'm at with this thing. It's been over a week since I've had this truck. So I know you're watching this, Jeff. I know you don't really care. You're not in a hurry, but I would like to have this done a little faster for you. It just takes time at the machine shop. So there's my little ramble for that. Once again, not complaining, guys, not being negative, nothing like that. I'm just letting you guys know that's why it's taking me so long to get the head back on this thing. All right, guys, I jumped outside because I want to show you guys a little project that I'm going to be doing tomorrow at the shop, house combo. I have this big school bus. If you guys haven't been following very long, this is a school bus that me and my girlfriend are converting to a camper, a schoolie project. I have done some videos on that. If you go back and look, you can see some of the work we've done on it, but that guy usually sits right here on the side of the building, and let me tell you guys, she was sunk into the mud. Like, look at that, a good 8 inches. And then in the back I had it absolutely freaking buried, guys. My truck barely pulled this school bus out. I ended up breaking the strap. I ripped the bumper off. So guys, ended up ripping the bumper off of my school bus. Like, I sheared these bolts off flush. Look at that. I just gotta get some new bolts for it and put her back over there and she'll be good. But we ended up having to hook it to the leaf spring. Finally got it out. So yeah, lesson learned. I think the school bus, this is gonna be its new home. It fits beside my house, right up against the edge of the roof. I just gotta be really careful when I go to pull it out to not turn too sharp and hit the gutter, smash the side of my house. And I still have room, as you can see, to get into the shop. So anyways, guys, the plan for tomorrow, what we have going on is all this stuff here. You can see that's not gravel, like from here and then all the way down I have a triaxle load of some 53s coming in. We're gonna get dumped about right here. Hopefully Mason's dad will let me borrow his tractor, and I'm going to get all that spread tomorrow. And then I'm also, guys, still trying to get this tree cut down as soon as possible. Just waiting on the guy to get out here and do it. It's kind of already paid for. I'm just waiting to get it cut down. And once we have that cut down, we're gonna have a lot more room. So yeah, we're just trying to make the best of the situation we're dealing with, guys, as far as space goes and how much room we have here. Because obviously we only have one bay, but I'm just trying to get a better system developed to where I can get these trucks in and out of here, and whenever they are taken apart, I'll be able to roll them out and then get the other ones in here to stay busy. Because I mean, the goal is, guys, the goal is to get this, to do this full time. And I mean, to do it full time, if I tear this truck apart and I'm waiting on parts or whatever, I need to be able to move it out and get something else in. Eventually, guys, I do want to get a bigger shop. I almost did that, but with the price of material right now, we were going to add on, but, and I'll go into that later. I don't want to rant about that, but all right, guys, to finish out the day with some downtime, I just continued cleaning parts basically and prepping stuff. We went ahead and got the injectors all prepped, new O-rings and new copper washers, and just got all this stuff very meticulously cleaned and ready to go. Light layer of oil over the injector O-rings, that way they will go back in nice and easy. And then the copper washers, all those are fresh, so. That's a lot of gravel, boys. Doom! My favorite part. Shout out Mason's dad for letting me borrow your tractor again. Guys, we're gonna be spreading all this gravel with a 1025R deer. Go ahead and get her fired up here. Then I'll start warming up. Oh, it's mad because it's not neutral. Oh yeah, so we're gonna start spreading while that's warming up, or we're gonna get a plan where we're gonna spread. But pretty much, I'm gonna try and do all this through here, all the way down the side of the garage. So we will see what we can get knocked out, guys. We got triaxle load. There's 20 ton here. This will go quite a ways. I do know that. Triaxle will go pretty good ways, especially out here. I don't have a ton of room, so we'll see what this does. If we need another one, we'll get another one tomorrow. Well, guys, we just got done spreading out the rest of the gravel. I ended up having to get 2 triaxle loads. I'll show you guys what we did real quick. And man, it is so cold today. It's nuts because it's almost April. Like Friday, I think's April 1st, but wow, it's like in the 20s with really strong winds, and jeans and Vans don't really cut it. I'm just freezing out here, but I got warmed up finally. I'm gonna head to town, head to drop the tractor off, go pick head up, grab a new propane tank because the little electric heater's not cutting it. I have to run the salamander, and we're gonna be staying up probably pretty much all night. Probably half the night. We're gonna put the head on this thing, get it running and driving tonight, get it done, pull Derek's truck in, and put a trans in it right afterwards. Guys, look at all this gravel we got. All side of the shop is gravel now. Got the trailers parked back there. Look at all the room we're gonna have. I mean, like I said, trying to get this tree cut down too. This is what 2 triaxle loads did, all this. So, jump in the truck, we got the tractor loaded back up, take it back to its home, and go get some parts. All right guys, just got back to the house. We got Derek's 2-wheel drive flat toed over here. And I got the head picked up from Nyes. So we're gonna get this thing stuck on the 6/7 finally and get it going today. And then we're gonna put Derek's trans in. So it's gonna be like 1 o'clock in the morning before we're done. It's 3:15. It's gonna be a long one, boys. Here we go. Okay, head is torqued. Now, put the manifold on, do the manifold next. Why we have all of our room where we can have our armors up here. We want to go ahead and get all these bolts in. These bolts kind of suck, especially when they're just hanging like this, so we want to do that next. And then we will put pretty much everything else together, minus, I'll do the fan clutch last, so that way we have more room up front here to mount our harnesses and stuff back in place. And yeah, so getting her knocked out, guys. All right guys, we got the 6/7 out here running, warming up, getting all the air out of the system. She's been running for about 20 minutes now. And something really cool I can do with my Snap-on Versus is I can sit in here while I'm putting my tools up, and I can watch the coolant temperature so I can make sure it doesn't get too hot. It's Bluetooth. All right guys, truck has been running now for probably about 45 minutes or so, and thermostat has opened up and we are cruising right about 191. It's been there for probably 10 minutes or so. So we went ahead and threw the radiator cap on it, took our funnel off, and this thing is good to go. Now guys, I do have to do an oil change on the truck tomorrow. I probably won't show you guys much of that. Now guys, we'll be doing an oil change tomorrow, as well as I'm gonna pull it back in, put it on the lift. He wanted me to check the front end out on it, and just do a good once over on it, make sure everything's good to go, load up his remaining parts, and that truck will be good to go, guys. So, guys, what a night and what a morning it has been. We got a Fortune pulled in this morning and did some diag on it, and the fuel filter housing is leaking. It's a 13 Ram, just like mine. So we have an air dog on the way for that. We're gonna be doing a video on that soon. But I went ahead and pulled the 6/7 back in to do a service on it. Jacked it up in the front, checked everything out, made sure ball joints and stuff are tight. He wanted me to look at that. And guys, we're about to take this thing on a good little, probably 15-20 minute drive, make sure everything is good to go. All right guys, we're just cruising this truck here. We're gonna take it down here, down the road and back. And we just wanna get this thing up to operating temperature and drive it for a little bit of operating temp. This truck can take forever to warm up, especially when it's cold out, so here we go. All right guys, we got Derek's 2-wheel drive pulled in here, about to stab a trans in it. Looks like one of the brakes is locked up too, because it basically destroyed the driveway. But got the trans here on my trans jack, and we're gonna throw the converter on it real quick.
Yeah, we got a $1,300 torque converter going in a $400 truck.
That is gonna wrap up in this video. We got Derek's truck pulled back outside, 2-wheel drive Cummins. 6/7's wrapped up, ready to go. And yeah, closing out. It's been a long 2 days on this video, but also guys, I do wanna say thank you to the new Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome, really do appreciate it. All the money that we were able to create on that platform is gonna be dumped back into the channel, back into the garage, be able to buy more tools. I do wanna start a new project eventually, guys, but right now, since I just made the transition and doing this full time, I do want to kind of take it easy on dumping a bunch of money into diesel trucks of my own right now, and just kind of focus on customer stuff. But eventually down the road, we'll see how this goes. We're gonna get back to another project, guys. Just bear with me. But we do appreciate your guys' support, and we'll see you guys on the next one.